or the fair. So we're going to do some healthier fair foods that you can either do at the fair or you can make at home that's similar to foods that you would find at the fair. So first we're going to get started with doing a yogurt dip, a fruit skewer, so fruit on a stick, because everything's on a stick, fried, or wrapped in bacon at the fair, right? So this first one we're going to do is fruit on the stick with a yogurt dip. And we're kind of doing a healthier yogurt dip that's found at Fire Lake. Have you guys ever had the dip that's at on the fruit trays at Fire Lake? It's like a strawberry yogurt. It's really good. So we're doing a healthier version on that. My name is Tori. I am the Healthy Heart Director, and I'm also a registered dietitian here. Kaylee's helping me today. She is our administrative assistant / data coordinator with the Healthy Heart, and Megan is our nurse for the Healthy Heart program. And Rochelle should be here soon. She is the other dietitian for the diabetes program as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started making the yogurt dip for the fruit skewers. So we have some reduced fat cream cheese that we're going to use. They also have fat-free versions of cream cheese. They don't have at Fire Lake, but they do have at like Walmart. So you could use that like we did last cooking demo. We did a little bit of both. We did a little bit of the fat-free and a little bit of the reduced fat. So this is going to still have its creamy consistency. It's just going to have a little bit less fat in it. And we have let this soften a little bit so that we can mix it a little bit easier. So we're going to use the cream cheese, and then we're also going to add Greek yogurt to it. On your recipe cards, it tells you some nutrition information about Greek yogurt. Have you guys tried the Greek yogurt before?
Yes.
It's pretty good. It has a little bit of a different consistency, and it's a little bit tangier than regular yogurt, but it also has more protein in it as well. So that's one of the reasons why we like to use the Greek yogurt versus the regular yogurt. And the yogurt that we're using is a strawberry yogurt, so that's going to give us that strawberry flavor. And it's the Light Fit Greek yogurt, so it's going to have less calories and less added sugar into it than some of the other types of yogurt. Now, if you're using, can I have a spatula? If you're eating yogurt at home, buying plain yogurt and adding your own fruit is going to be a great way to reduce that amount of added sugar that's in your yogurts. So getting it from natural sources versus from the added sugar that's in that flavoring. So we have 3 packages of the cream cheese and 3 cups or packages of the Greek yogurt. This is going to be really easy. We're just going to mix it all together. I have my handy dandy little masher that I use for potatoes or ground meat or something, and I'm going to hope it mashes up the cream cheese a little bit better than a spatula would. If you put it in a food processor, it'd probably be really fast too. The cream cheese is also going to give this yogurt dip a little bit of a creamier flavor, give it a little bit more solid consistency for the fruit than just the yogurt by itself. Just dipping fruit in yogurt would be a good snack or dessert as well too. Actually, me and Rochelle have actually presented doing cooking demos at the state fair before too, which is kind of neat. In the Hobby and Arts building, there's a demonstration kitchen if you guys are planning on going to the fair, and they do cooking demos throughout the fair. And actually some UCO interns will be there. Some of the interns that we have occasionally, some of them will be presenting as well, like we did. Okay, I'm going to call this pretty much good. So would you guys like to try this while we're cooking the rest of the foods? Okay. So we'll go ahead and plate these up with the fruit skewers, and you guys can munch on that while we're cooking the other 2 items. If you like a different flavor versus the strawberry, you can always try like a blueberry one, or I really like the key lime Greek yogurt. So you can do key lime flavored. So it's whatever flavor you like. You can also put your own fresh fruit in it. It would be even better to flavor the dip. So next we're going to be doing our chicken, Greek chicken gyros. Do you guys call it gyro or gyro?
Gyro.
Gyro. Okay, that's what I've been calling it, but I've also heard people call it a gyro. So I'm going to call it a gyro, okay? So gyro with tzatziki sauce. So instead of doing the lamb meat, we decided to do chicken. You usually can't find lamb meat just laying around at the grocery store on a regular basis. So we decided to do something a little bit more common, but still have similar flavors to what the lamb would be in a regular gyro. So, and we made it a little bit healthier with like the Greek yogurts and stuff like that. So we're going to, and then also our bread, and we'll talk about that in a little bit later. So we've been marinating the chicken. So here is the marinade, the chicken with the marinade, and I've never marinated with yogurt before. So that's something that's different about the Greek marinades, is that it has Greek yogurt in the marinade. So that gives it a little bit of a tangier flavor. So this is what the chicken looks like. You don't want to do it more than 12 hours. This one's been about 3 to 4 hours that it's been marinating. So, but you don't want to do it over 12 hours. You don't want it to break down too much. So we're going to go ahead and start grilling up the chicken, and then we're going to make the tzatziki sauce. So we're using a food processor. In the recipe it says to grate the cucumber, and then we want to drain it. We want to get some of that liquid off of it so that when we put it in the sauce it's not too wet. Same thing as like you're making a zucchini bread. You don't want the zucchini to be too wet when you put it in the bread, so you want to kind of drain it off a little bit. So we're going to do the same thing here, except for I'm going to use the food processor instead of grating it. So we're going to mix it up in the food processor to get it grated. So here's our, I already chopped it up a little bit, just so it's in a little bit of the smaller pieces. We're going to put that in the food processor. I might need to do this in portions. Have you guys made a tzatziki sauce at home before? It's a little bit different. You know, I eat Greek foods, I especially like hummus a lot of the time, but I don't eat it on a regular basis. It's not one of our common foods here, especially in Oklahoma. Okay, so I'm going to grate this up. The first batch grated, and I'm just going to lay it out on this paper towel and then try to squeeze out some of that moisture out of it. It smells really good. It smells like we're at a spa. We just need to put some on our eyes, right? To relax us. I heard there's no real reason to put cucumbers on your eyes at the spas. It just makes you feel better because it smells good. I was like, well, maybe it like detoxes your eyes and makes them, you know, not swell as much or something like that. No, I read that it has no real reason.
Oh, psychological.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. That one took a little longer. We got it. But that would have taken forever if we grated it. So that helped a lot. Okay, so once we get this drained a little bit, as it's draining on these paper towels, we're going to put it back into the food processor. We're going to mix it all up. So now we're going to put the rest of the ingredients in. We have the cucumber already grated and drained. We're going to put the Greek yogurt in. So this is just plain Greek yogurt, and like I mentioned earlier, you can use plain Greek yogurt and then add your own fruit into it, and it's going to give it flavor without adding a lot of sugar. So we're going to put the Greek yogurt in. Here's Rochelle. I was telling them how we did our cooking demo at the state fair a couple years ago together. We made steak, spinach salad, and beef enchiladas. Yep. And then we also have our one vinegar. I'm eyeballing it. I'm pulling a Rochelle. And then olive oil.
That's it. He's been like this burger.
And our pepper.
They like the twist he got the other day.
Okay, so now we're just gonna mix it up. You can do this in a bowl or in the food processor. Okay, and there's our tzatziki sauce. So we're gonna wait until the chicken is done, and then we can put this and our other toppings on it. You can use any kind of salad you want to put on your gyro. We have cucumbers, tomatoes, and then some onions and the tzatziki sauce is what we're putting on ours today. And our pita bread, we found this at Fire Lake, and it is called Flat Outs. They're flat breads, multi-grain, and they are just thinner, and so they have about half as many carbohydrates in them as the regular pita bread. So it's going to be very similar, it's just going to be half as much of carbohydrates. So that's always going to be good for when you're watching your carbohydrates. Several different ones. We got a multi-grain one and a light one are the ones we got. Because next we're going to do the roasted corn. I love roasted corn at fairs, or I go to a lot of art shows and they usually have the food trucks like the fair does. And roasted corn is one of my favorite things that I can get. So with the corn, watching our carbohydrates, we know that it is going to be higher in carbohydrates. It's one of our starchy vegetables, but it's still a vegetable, so it's still going to have a lot of nutrients, a lot of fiber in it that we do need. So just like any other whole grain that we need, it has that fiber, it has those nutrients we need. So it's going to be a healthier option. It's just we want to watch the portion size because it does have a higher amounts of carbohydrates in it. So. And a lot of people put butter, salt, pepper on their corn. What all of these seasonings out here for is so that you guys can come up and try other things on your roasted corn other than just salt and pepper and butter. You can try some other things. Instead of butter, we're using olive oil to put on our corn to roast it, so that's another healthier option. Okay, so just like the fair, we have our corn on the cob still, and we just peel back the husk, and then we're going to roast it. We're going to put the olive oil on it, and then we're going to roast it. You want to make sure that this part doesn't get in the flame, especially if you're doing an open flame that doesn't have the foil on it. You want to make sure that this part doesn't get on the flame. And we have our brush, where'd it go? Our marinating brush that we're going to use to put the olive oil on. You can either drizzle it or use the brush.
Is the corn from the garden?
No, it's not. We got this at Fire Lake. We have planted our fall garden. Our spring garden flooded with all that flooding we had, and so we weren't able to keep pretty much anything from the garden. It all drowned.
I think everybody had that trouble this year.
So we have started our fall garden, and we have pumpkins and peppers and other things. We are going out there tomorrow, probably around 4, to go work in the garden. So if anybody would like to come out there with us, please let us know, and we'll get you the more information to come out and help with us. We have a lot of okra that we're going to be working on tomorrow. So we're using olive oil as a healthier alternative to butter. Olive oils and canola oils have the healthier mono and polyunsaturated fats in it, whereas butter has the saturated fat in it. So it's going to be a healthier option to use the oils instead of the butter. Same thing with like a baked potato. Have you guys ever tried the olive oil or canola oil in a baked potato instead of butter? That's another option that you could try, or like roast potatoes or something like that. Or in anything. For baking, you do need to watch out for, because some things need, that might be something you can try to play with. I know some fruits, like I use bananas in a lot of recipes for baking instead of the butters or the oils, and it works really well. You just kind of have to tweak the recipe a little bit. Maybe add a little bit more flour or something like that. And you just want to cook this until it's nice and brown and the corn's juicy. It's cooked done.